Hey, what's up guys? This is Adrian Martinez here, former corporal in the United States Marine Corps. I'm going to give you some 10 uncommon tips that you probably don't hear about in boot camp. Now, I've seen a couple videos and they always talk about like, give it your best, give it your all, always try to stand out, yell at the top of your lungs. This video isn't going to really go into that. This video is more intended to just give you little tips that don't really get talked about that could actually save you a little bit of heartache when and if you go through boot camp. But before we start, make sure to go ahead and click that bell button so you get notified every time I upload. I upload on a daily basis. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, first tip. Boot camp isn't hard. I don't care what you've heard about or they tell you that you're going to be grilled on a consistent basis. It is not hard. It's just very, very tedious. And by that I mean you're going to get yelled at a lot. You're going to have to do a lot of PT. You're going to be rushing everywhere. You're dealing with people who are fresh out of high school more likely than not. A couple people probably in their early 20s, maybe mid 20s. But for the most part, it's not going to be this absolutely insane difficult thing that you're going to do in your life. It's going to be long. It's going to feel like forever because especially if you haven't been away from like your family for a while. That's honestly the only thing I saw that was really hard on people is that they just weren't used to being away from their family for long periods of time. So other than that, not hard, just very tedious. So just get ready to get that little whiff of preemptive bullshit that you're gonna feel later on in schooling and then eventually the fleet. Number 2, don't laugh. Now, I know how easy this might seem as far as keeping your laughter, but you ever been in a library and you're supposed to be quiet and now suddenly every little thing is funny? Well, don't laugh in boot camp. Doesn't matter where you're at. Also, that also relates to touching your face. I don't hear a lot of other videos talking about this, but you have a little itch. If a drill instructor sees you, man, you're gonna be PTing. I mean, unless you're looking for a workout, just don't do it. Even if you have an itch, you're gonna realize how much bearing you start to develop. And the worst part about it is, do not touch. If you touch your face, that's gonna be your own discretion. You're gonna do it when no one's looking. But especially don't do it in a drill. If you do it in a drill, you're going to get fucked up. So, leads me into number 3. Don't volunteer for shit. I don't care what your recruiter told you. I don't care what other people tell you. The moment you volunteer, you have singled yourself out and you might stand out more. But it's not always going to be a good thing. Unless you're super motivated and you want to be fire team leader, squad leader. Which a squad leader is fucking ridiculous now that I thought about it. Because we had like around above 90 people. And we had 4 squad leaders. Can you imagine how much responsibility it is for just someone who's most likely fresh out of high school, right? So, don't volunteer for shit. Because as soon as your name gets out there, drill instructors know who you are, and they're going to pick on you a little more. But if you're really motivated, go ahead and get it out in boot camp because it goes away pretty quick when you start going to, not necessarily schooling, but as soon as you get to the fleet, a lot of that motivation is going to go away because you start realizing there's a lot of bullshit that goes around and stupid shit. Which leads me into my 4th, which is ghost by. If you're there just to get through it, just ghost by. You don't have to stand out like everyone always tells you. Hey, do your best, do your hardest work. Yeah, do those things because it really does help the platoon as a whole. Don't feel like it's just this insane thing where you have to be like the guide or squad leader. No. Do your thing. You know, like me, I had a stutter, so that got me noticed about halfway through in the second phase, and then I got fucking grilled on it on a consistent basis. So as soon as they know your name, you're now your target. All right, so for number 5, just know that a lot of the stuff you're gonna be doing in boot camp is not gonna necessarily translate to the fleet, and maybe even schooling. Think of boot camp as more of like a history lesson of the Marine Corps. And you're just getting your feet wet just a little bit on a lot of different subjects. Some squat tactics, a little bit of land nav. Obviously the physical aspect, doing pull-ups, crunches, running. But just think of it as more of a history course. And then other than that, it's just really designed, at least in my opinion, to just get you transition from that civilian life to military life. Hey, you gotta do this thing, you gotta do it right now, and you gotta do it the way we show you. We're showing you a certain way because there's a reason behind it. And they always say there's a reason behind the madness, which I still haven't found. For number 6, you're gonna get these little breaks in between classes. When you come back to the squad, but you always got about 30-40 seconds to go to the bathroom real quick. So imagine fucking like at least half the people, which is what, 45, 40 people, trying to use the bathroom at the same time. And there's only maybe like 8 urinals, if I remember. There's not many. And you got all these people trying to go out once. And you got some dudes who are ballsy enough to try to take a shit during these times, which I don't know how they always did it. But I heard people that would pinch it off, and I was like, so you didn't wipe your ass? Disgusting! There's a few people that I've heard rumors that never wiped their ass when they had these moments. In order for this not to happen, go to the bathroom straight after you guys do your whole drinking the full canteen at night, every night. Wait for lights to go out. As soon as you're good to go first, because more likely than not, you're only gonna have 4 jugs of detergent, I believe, or just 4 objects in general, and you have to take one to go use the head. If there's not one there, and if you get caught in there, everyone's gonna get fucked up. So go immediately, because everyone's gonna be rushed for it, because everybody's got to take a piss. I've heard rumors and seen people piss in their canteens because they couldn't hold it. Or you get people going up and down the squad bay doing their little happy feet thing. So, number 7, make sure that you go to boot camp pre-shaven. If you don't, you're gonna stand out like me. And when they sent me to go get my head shaved, I had shaved it about 2 or 3 weeks prior, but obviously back then it grew out a little bit. I'm gonna leave a picture here of the guy who cut my hair at NCRD. I'm pretty sure you know who he is if you've been there. This guy was not gentle. He's very brutal. Cuts a lot along my head. I understand they got quite a bit of people that go through there on a daily basis, but it's like, can you be just a little more gentle? I'm not trying to get cuts on my head, so the next time you try to shave my head, you're getting over the cuts. Number 8, buy extra shit of things you know people are most likely gonna steal. Stealing does happen, and everyone's in it say, hey, it wasn't me. I've had my shower shoes stolen, but luckily my rack mate had a spare. They were a little small, but hell, it fucking worked. And that way I'm not walking around barefooted, and I'm not having to tell the drill instructor or the guys like, hey, I don't have shower shoes, and now I gotta go to the PX, waste time, and go buy some more. So, and a lot of times the shower shoes are gonna be outside with your boots lined up on your underneath your rack, and it makes it very easy for someone just to take them. So I don't know what the fuck Firewatch was doing that night, but my shit got stolen. So make sure you buy extra shower shoes. Make sure you buy extra little tape. Make sure that you buy extra little scissors. People like to steal those for some reason. I don't know why they did. And just make sure your thing's always locked. Your fucking foot locker. Otherwise people are going to sneak the little grubby hands in them. Alright, yeah, so that kind of also related to the number 9, which is don't let people steal your shit. Some people would do it very blatantly. I've had to call out a few people a couple times who would just steal shit that I had on top of my foot locker, and I was at the back of the rack putting, I don't know what I was doing, I was fixing something on my little laundry bag. A motherfucker would literally walk, take my little scissors, and try to walk in. I'm like, hey, what the fuck, bro? This guy's like, oh, I was just gonna borrow it real quick. You're borrowing it without telling me. That's called stealing. You might have to get in people's faces a little bit just to get your shit back, but you know, at least then they're probably not gonna do it again. Just make sure that no one steals your shit. Number 10, and this was the biggest one for me. The hardest part, actually. If there is a hard part, this is the only hard part. The Reaper and all that, it's the Crucible, it's not really that hard. It sucks, but doable. So the gas chamber. Just a couple mini little tips for being in there. Don't joke around when you're in line to go in. I was doing that with a couple dudes. Drill instructor saw us, says, alright, you guys in front of the fucking line. Now, I know how you've seen these videos that they usually have them on, right? And then you go in. We had to put them on as soon as we got in there. And because I was like the second in line, we had to make a little circle inside the building until we came back to the entrance. And we couldn't put it on until we were about halfway in. And then you're trying to rush and put it on. And then you're gonna start feeling the burn along your arms a little bit and your neck. You start feeling there on your chest a little bit. You're fine. Now, as soon as they tell you to take off your mask and slide it up, this is where a lot of people panic. But I panicked. I'll be honest about that. I literally had to sit on the ground and you got people banging on the fucking wall because that shit fucking hurts. I tried to hold my breath, and when I couldn't hold it anymore, I took a big inhale. So I inhaled a lot of CS gas. That shit burned my throat, burned my chest. My heart was beating like crazy. Still felt the burning getting worse. And then all of a sudden, opposite side of the room, I see a motherfucker rolling out. Oh. It was funny too, because he was a little guy, and as soon as he ran out, I just heard someone say, holy shit, Sergeant Oliver, we got a runner. Oh God, I felt so bad for this dude because he had to go back in and do it again all the way from the beginning. But don't run out, because you're gonna have to go do it again if you fuck up or if you try to run out. And then just take slow, steady breaths. You're gonna cough. It's gonna be natural, but don't freak out. The moment you start freaking out, other people around you start freaking out, because that's what happened to me. I was holding my breath for a little bit. As soon as I heard a cough, I started coughing, and that's what made me lose my breath. And that's when I started inhaling a lot of it. Some people were in the corner, kind of just like at attention, coughing. I was on the ground going like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking die. Bear in mind, you're not gonna die, but it's gonna fucking hurt like a bitch. And then there's gonna be a second time where you have to take the whole mask off. And you take it off. I don't know what they did with it. It was less intensified, it seemed. I don't know if they simmered it down or whatnot. But then they'll give you like a little motivating speech for a minute or so. And then as soon as you walk out, you're gonna get a lot of snot coming out through your nose. You're gonna be sweaty. You're gonna be all disgusting. Do not go to the bathroom, because what happens when you go to the bathroom? You grab your dick to go take a piss, and guess what? Now it's on your dick, and that shit burns. Learn from that from experience. All right, so that was 10 uncommon tips that I haven't really seen in other boot camp videos. I thought I'd let you all know. Just little things here and there to kind of make your life a little easier, or at least prepare you for it. Remember, it's not that hard. It's just very tedious. Only hard part is probably the gas chamber. That's really the moment where you start feeling physical pain. Go ahead and leave a like on this video if you liked it. Go ahead and leave a dislike if you didn't like it. It really helps me improve the channel. Go ahead and comment down below if you have your own tips that most people probably don't know about, or people just haven't even thought of saying. I'm very excited to see what you guys comment. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe possibly do a part 2 if I can remember more, or if someone mentions something in the comments that actually sparks up something in my memory. All right, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.